Um, Looking for an assignment or an announcement. Actually, I think I only have the announcement this time. I did not get around to making an assignment just yet, but I'll do that quick. So you'll need to look under announcements for this, but it should have posted task for U5L1. The do now is a Google form. Again, this is not graded. This is, again, just for fun and kind of reviewing things. Google form will look like this. It's about 3 multiple choice based on your reading from chapter 28. And then there's a little video to watch from the movie Gravity. It's kind of intense. And 1 more question to answer. So I'll give us about 8 minutes to work on that. And I'll be here listening. If something doesn't work, just let me know. But 8 minutes and then we'll check in. Go for it. All right, kiddos, 8 minutes has elapsed. Let's come back in. About at least 7 of you responded, 8. So again, if you're just finishing up, make sure to submit that. Pretty intense clip from Gravity. How many of you have seen that movie? Not many. Should definitely check it out. I encourage you if you have not seen it before. The whole rest of the movie too, it kind of slowly builds up to just Sandra Bullock as the main focus and how she kind of escapes from it all. But anyway, great special effects and everything too. It's one of those movies I saw in theaters and like I didn't touch the popcorn I had. Like that's how like enthralled I was right from the beginning. It's like you forget you have that. So anyway, it looks like we're feeling good on most of these questions here. Let's just take a look. So indeed, 99.86% of the mass on the solar system is. I like that someone chose your mama, but no, it is indeed. It is indeed the sun, and which is crazy to think. An atomic mass unit is, again, it is the distance from Earth to the sun, and I assume it's an average because there is sort of a slight deviation in Earth's distance from the sun, but it's a pretty huge number as well. I'm now forgetting it, or how many, like you can think about how many Earth diameters it is, and it's still pretty, um, we're a very long way away. It is true that the sun is liquid, and therefore, like the equator moves a little faster. That's why we get those sunspots, those darker spots. And good, I like all your descriptions here. But yes, the Kessler effect is this idea that there's so much junk around our planet in low orbit that it could potentially pose a pretty big threat of becoming almost like a wave of debris that falls into orbit around our planet. And there's a little bit of, I think there's a little bit more to it than that. I think if this did happen, a lot of the debris would eventually just fall into the atmosphere and completely burn up and be dissolved. So I don't think it would be a long-term issue. But you guys get at the point that we have a lot of important satellites that are up in space that are providing us TV, internet, cell phone communication, all those things. And if all that was destroyed somehow, it would be pretty disruptive on the surface. And so there's ways we'd have to go around it. But anyway, kind of interesting and a good movie to check out. All right, back to the tasks list. The next thing I want to move on to is just checking in about Rube Goldberg. And your goal this week is to begin building a frame of some kind for your final machine. And I've posted an assignment that looks like this. And this is what you'll have to do by the end of this week. So it's due on Monday for you guys. But the basic idea is to have some kind of flat board and a sideboard. Like you want to build the frame, like the thing that you are going to build your machine on. And I have a couple ideas. If you don't have access to wood panels or anything like that, I don't want you to feel like you have to go out and buy any of that stuff. If you don't want to, if you don't want, I don't want you to put your health at risk. So using old like indoor, outdoor tables, if you have any of those things that you're okay with, like nailing or gluing things to. Empty fish tanks actually work kind of well if you've got a fish tank in the basement or something that you haven't used. An old chair that you're okay nailing things into, tack boards, old picture frames. There's a couple things you can probably find, in the trash heap in the yard or in the basement or something that aren't being used. But I put up some photos of machines too to give you an idea of what your base could look like. Again, some of them on an old table. Here's one in a fish tank. But it gives you an idea of what you should be sort of striving to try to get built, and then you can start attaching things and making plans about how you're going to hook all the final features up to that. So that's the goal for the end of this week, is just have the frame. You don't have to have the little machine ready, just the frame, kind of a start that you can then start planning how to attach things to. more permanently. And again, I can work with each of you on a case by case basis. So any questions on that? Yeah, Julia.
For our final finished product, how long does it have to run for?
Oh, yes, and I put that in on that. There's another bullet point underneath that. I have decided that the minimum time will be 15 seconds.
Okay.
Yep, so 15 seconds is how long it has to run for. Yep. Which is longer than it sounds. But there's ways you can kind of, it just means you've got to get something moving a little more slowly. There's little tricks you can use to kind of draw out the length. And there's no maximum time. So as long as it goes for 15 seconds, it could go for 2 minutes if you really wanted it to. So yeah, good question. Anything else? Okay, again, that's our goal kind of long-term for this week. All right, so our main thing to do today is introduce the solar system project. Before I move on to that though, just for the homework, I want to make sure that everyone's feeling good about you're all able to finish up that PhET simulator question quiz and submit the Flipgrid video, right? We did that in class last time. And also you made your drawings and submitted the picture of your drawing of your orbits. Cool. Okay, I will check those at some point soon, hopefully. Okay, so instead of me teaching you chapter 28 like we've been doing with kind of little lectures and activities and things like that, I am going to model one of the graduate school courses that I took online. And you guys are going to be teaching the chapter to each other by basically creating little 20-minute standalone lessons that students can work through independently. And then that's what we're going to do. We'll be using class time to prepare these, and then we'll use class time to work through each one. And as part of your 20-minute lesson, you also have an assessment that you have to provide online, something short, 4 or 5 questions, more like check for understanding, that your classmates will complete. So lots of details about this. I've attached here, this is under task number 3. Go ahead and open up the project description right there. It's a Google Doc that will look like this. The title is the Science2 Solar System Online Lesson Project. And I'm going to give you the next 20 minutes to read through this and answer the questions on a little kind of Google form quiz that I made. You can see it right next to it there on task number 3. So it says read through the project description and answer the questions on this solar system project Google form. So take about 20 minutes to do that. And if you do finish it before the 20 minutes is up, then take some time to start thinking about what topic it is, which section of chapter you'd be interested in doing, and who you want to work with as a partner. Most of this class is in the same time zone. I'm going to need one person who's willing to work with Grace, who's in Hong Kong. But otherwise, you're all in California, so that time zones won't be an issue. It's more just figuring out which partner you want to work with throughout that. But again, we'll just take the next 20 minutes. So I'll time it for 20 minutes, read through the project description Google Doc, and answer the questions on this solar system project description quiz. Again, this isn't graded. It's just a way for me to make sure you understand the important parts of the description. So again, I'm here. If you've got questions or something isn't working, 20 minutes, go for it. All right, kiddos, I'm actually going to cut us off there. It looks like 8 of you have submitted your forms about the description. And some of you have even started to work on the partner selection. So let's come back into the room. I know it's a bit early, but looks like 20 minutes was plenty of time. All right, so just to get some of the important parts down, again, if you're still working on the form, that's okay. But the key things are you're going to be preparing a lesson. Is this going to be a live lesson? Are you presenting this live in class?
No.
You aren't, okay? So this is just something that people will work through independently. You are going to work with a partner. It's all based on chapter 28. What am I not going to allow you to use?
Google Slides.
Which I know is kind of like the go-to for everyone, but I want you to explore some other online tools, which there are plenty of. And there are some tools that are sort of add-ons to Google Slides. So I will say that if you need to start with Google Slides, that you then upload to something different. So for example, if you make a Edpuzzle video of yourself going through something and you need to use a slide to present some information or a video, then that's okay if it's a base, but then it has to be added into something else. But otherwise, most other sites will work on their own. For your assessment, again, good. Everyone got that it's just 4 or 5 questions using another online thing. And that could be during the lesson. So you could have questions throughout the lesson, or you could have questions just at the end. It's up to you. Like if you're using an ed puzzle, the questions will probably be spaced out throughout the lesson. But if you're using like a Google form or something, you can use it at the end. I don't know. It's up to you and how you want to design it. So it should take about 20 minutes in total, and that includes the lesson and the assessment. So start thinking about maybe 15 minutes for the lesson, 5 minutes for the assessment, something like that. You do not need to stick to the textbook. In fact, I encourage you to be creative, and I have some descriptions there under the chapter descriptions. It's all going to be posted on Canvas where you can access it. And most importantly, who's going to be preparing the test for this unit, or at least for a large part of this unit?
All of us.
You guys. Yes, I'll collect questions from each of you, stitch them together, and that'll be our test. So any questions right now after reading the description and filling out that little quiz?
I have a question about ed puzzle.
Yeah.
So like if we do an ed puzzle, you know how I ask the questions throughout the video?
Yep.
Would that count as like the assignment and the lesson at the same time?
That could be the assessment. Yep. As long as you've got 4 or 5 questions, then that's your assessment. And yeah, and that's something you can easily check to see how students are doing. Yeah. So if you want to have a video of yourself giving a lesson and then upload that into YouTube and then upload that into Edpuzzle and then adding questions to it, that's what you could do. Yep.
All right.
So it seems kind of crazy, so many layers, but yeah, that's what a lot of people will end up doing. And you could also, if you have a video that you know you want to use as part of your lesson. So that's the other thing too, is that if you want to mix a couple of these, maybe you want to make a video of yourself teaching a lesson, but you also want to include, I don't know, like a short other additional video that has through Edpuzzle, you can meld 2 of these different online sources together. I suggest keeping it simple and just stick to kind of one thing that you're doing, but whatever is going to work best for you, you can figure that out with the person you're working with too. So yes, the next important step is partner selection. Some of you have already filled out this form, but if you haven't, there is on the Canvas tasks right here, the next one down from the quiz you just went through, it says pair partners. I want you to list the top 3 people that you would like to work with on this solar system partner Google form. And what I'm going to do then is, so please fill that out, and you can text each other, message each other if you want to via Zoom. But I'm going to go through and look at the results and then just pair people up and come back hopefully in the next 10 minutes where I can let you know the partners for the project. And I haven't thought about how I'm going to do that efficiently, but we'll figure it out. And then we'll go on to choose topic stuff. So while you wait, if you have it done, there's a little lunar lander game that I have here. There's a video you can watch about a SpaceX launch. And then it's a little sort of a FET video game called Lunar Lander that you can play while you wait for me to figure out partner stuff. So please, everyone, fill out that form. And remember, I am going to need one person who is willing to work with Grace, who's in Hong Kong. But she's been pretty good about keeping up with class stuff. She'll be a good partner to have, I think, regardless. So, all right. So I'm going to time this for the next 10 minutes to fill out the form, and then I'm going to use that 10 minutes to assign people their partners, and then we will go on to the next step. And again, as you're waiting, you can play that lunar lander game if you've already filled out the form. Go for it. Let me know if you have questions.